Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. The Shadow of a God by DirtyRippedPaper Chapter 11, The Path to Glory. What's with all these people? Rimuru asked me. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they caught wind of our news since they don't seem to notice us. Rimuru and I went to get re-evaluated and just saw all these reporters at the scene. We won't be able to get to the association building at this rate. Hey, excuse me please. Rimuru and I passed through the reporters and went to the entrance of the building. A huge guy blocked us from entering. Hey, who are you? Are you with the association? He's way taller than me. Don't you see all the reporters here? You can't just pass through them? We have business with the association. Rimuru was obviously irritated through her tone. You can't enter right now. Go back to where you came from. Her eye twitched. On whose authority are you trying to send them away? The chairman, Go Gun-hee, appeared from the building. Chairman Go Gun-hee. They're our guest. Go Gun-hee smiled. Hunter Sung Jin-woo, Hunter Rimuru Tempest, let's head inside. We followed him. We walked along the hallway and saw Choi Jong-in and Baek Yoon-ho waiting for us. They arrived here an hour ago and have been waiting for you two ever since, Go Gun-hee said. That's kind of weird. Rimuru shrugged. The chairman laughed. You two are the first S-rank hunter in 2 years. To gain 2 new S ranks in the same day. What a sight. Rimuru scratched her head. Sue. He sighed, it's a big deal for us. Of course we'd try by all means to acquire an S rank into our guild. He looked at me. Choi Jong-in must be feeling even more anxious because he witnessed your powers firsthand. He directed his eyes to Rimuru. You. Everyone knows of your powers, though it's unclear to me why only S ranks seem to clearly know your powers. I know your fight was broadcasted on TV. Aha. I don't know either. Beads of sweat dropped on Rimuru's forehead. Go Gun-hee shrugged. Hello. Nice to meet you, Hunter Sung Jin-woo, Hunter Rimuru Tempest. A man shook hands with us. Hello. I'd like to know who wants to go first, he asked. Rimuru nudged me. I'll go. I spoke. Before we start the evaluation, we'll confirm your abilities to assign your class. What kind of abilities can you use? I can do something like this. I summoned a soldier out of my shadow. What? Is this a summoned creature? You can control creatures. Go Gun-hee stared. Hunter Sung Jin-woo. Are you saying that this is the full capacity of your abilities? Since there were a lot of witnesses, there's no point in lying. I was able to turn the high orcs into my shadow soldiers this time. I summoned a few more of my shadow soldiers. I can see the look on their faces. They look rather amazed. I can summon about 100 creatures. Oh, 100? No way. The man was shocked. Let's move on to Hunter Rimuru Tempest now. Go Gun-hee spoke. Why yes. The man said, still shocked from my abilities. Please kindly demonstrate your abilities. Rimuru put her hand on her chin, thinking about what abilities to show. I remember her having a lot. Does she plan on showing all of her abilities? That'd take forever. She took out a huge sofa out of her inventory. Why would she have a sofa? I can do this. She scratched her head. Is that it? The man was cut off by the sight of Rimuru. She put her hand in front of the sofa and devoured it whole. What else? She thought about it. She surrounded the man with threads sharp enough to slice him in one go if he were to move even an inch. The man was scared. She quickly retracted the threads. She kept thinking of what else. What else could she possibly show? Rimuru has a lot of abilities. A bright idea popped into her head, making her summon a black lightning and pointed at a window. It looked like she was going to do more but was stopped by Go Gun-hee. I think you've showed enough. He smiled. Did I? She giggled. We got our cards featuring our class. Hey, what's yours? She asked me. Mage. You? Mage too. She fist bumped me. Mr. Sung Jin-woo, Ms. Rimuru Tempest, could you two spare some time? Baek Yoon-ho asked us. We have something to do. Rimuru opened the door before being stopped. Huh? That exit is I wouldn't leave through that if I were you. Is this like those things on TV? Is he saying that he prepared such a good deal that I'll regret if I were to leave? I shook my head and stepped outside beside with Rimuru. The camera flashes blinded me for a split second. I could see Rimuru was taken aback as well. What is this? She yelled. These cameras kept flashing, making Rimuru irritated. What the hell is this? They're supposed to be taking pictures of Lee Min-sung. Not us. She covered her eyes. I'm not dealing with this. She teleported, or did she move so fast I couldn't catch her movement in my eye? Whatever she did, she went to the other side in a split second. I followed her using stealth. JinWoo. We're gonna become filthy rich, she said to me while we were on the way home. She was practically drooling at the thought of money. It would be a lie if I said I wasn't rich. Me? It sounds so foreign, I laughed, earning me a giggle from her. We stopped by a toy store on the way home. I remember, this was Jin-ah's favorite place when she was just a kid. Maybe about 7 years old. I could see Rimuru's eyes sparkle at the sight. You're childish, I giggled. She took my hand and dragged me to the toy shop. It's more fun if I have someone with me. We entered the toy shop and I could see the owner tense up. He looked back and forth on his computer and to us. News of new S ranks would obviously spread far and wide. Hello. Rimuru cheerfully greeted the owner, to which he bowed in response. She looked through the shelves with toys on them, inspecting each and every single one. Her face was filled with joy. I never knew she was into this type of stuff. It's a cute side of her. As I look at her right now, I'm reminded of Jin-ah when she was just a little kid. Sigh. She used to call me Oppa, with such love. Now she's become a bratty teenager. Now that I think about it, isn't it strange for us to be here? Rimuru is about 22 years old while I'm 26 years old. Heck, even if we were 6 years younger it'd still be a bit strange. Only kids visit these type of stores. Perhaps you too are looking for a toy to give to your child? The owner was clearly afraid of us, but he still wanted to help. Wait. Child. Child. Mister. What are you saying? Rimuru was shocked by the owner. I could see her shiver in disgust. I flicked her forehead. Don't look so disgusted. The owner looked at us with fear, clearly. Yet his expression softened up soon. These youngsters. Always the same, whether they be an S rank or not, he mumbled. But, mister, why do you think we have a child? Sweat dropped on my forehead. You didn't hear the rumors? There are a lot of rumors about Hunter Rimuru Tempest dating Hunter Sung Jin-woo. Oh, right. I've seen those rumors. People would comment, are you serious? Korea's strongest woman, paired with the world's weakest hunter? The most gorgeous woman in Korea with the most mid guy in the world? I wonder if it's still the same now that we're both publicized as an S rank. And now I'm pretty handsome, too. Even Rimuru thinks the same. I took a glance at Rimuru beside me. She picked up a Black Panther stuffed toy along with a sky blue blob stuffed toy and went to the cashier. Why does the Black Panther stuffed toy strangely remind me of me? I shook my head and went out the store, holding Rimuru's hand. JinWoo. Rimuru called out my name. She presented to me the stuffed toy she bought. Here's a stuffed toy that'll remind you of me, she giggled. Blob. I'm not sure how this'll remind me of you, but it does have the same color as your hair. I ran my fingers through her long and blue hair. Even the slightest touch with her is enough to make my heart skip a beat. I wonder, would you let me love you? Rimuru and I went to go sell some of our stuff. I had this orb of avarice to sell, and she had some great equipment too. Like this mask. This mask looks rather interesting. I handed over my orb of avarice to the man and he widened his eyes. I've been appraising artifacts for a long time, but this is the first red-dyed orb I've ever seen. He admired the orb. It really is able to amplify magic by 100%. Here's mine. Rimuru handed over her mask. The man looked at it. What does it do? He doubted it. It can hide the user's magical energy, thus sealing their power and dulls any elemental magic attacks casted by an enemy. It can nullify poison that was in contact with the user, allows the user to keep their lungs full even if they're surrounded by fire, and can amplify the user's senses, she explained. Huh. I never knew she had something of that caliber. The man definitely had doubts about it, but he began to appraise it, and it proved to be true. His eyes widened. Behind such a simple complexion, it contains this much power. He held the mask with trembling hands. He looked between me and Rimuru back and forth. Where did you two get items of this caliber? Hunters would be walking in with stacks of cash for both of them. I found it in a dungeon. I was given it by a friend. Would you two like to auction off this item at our auction house? We can help you find the best price. I'll think about it, I answered, and Rimuru agreed with me. I want to clear the demon castle as soon as possible and craft holy water of life. I need artifacts to protect from the demon castle's heatwave. Is it possible to purchase artifacts with fire resistance? I asked him. It's quite easy to obtain. Oh, I couldn't really find any online. Artifacts with elemental resistances are usually expensive, so we don't put them up for sale online. However, it's still something you can easily obtain. Among the different magic types, fire is the most common, he explained. Well, Mr. Song Kai-yul and Choi Jong-in were both fire magic casters, and even Tusk was using fire magic. Rimuru also uses it time to time, but she uses some sort of black lightning more. Hey, I'm gonna go now, she told me. Aren't you gonna buy something? Nah, don't need it. She walked off. Then, please follow me, sir. The man guided me to the artifacts. Do you see anything you like? They look fragile? Is it really safe to keep them behind such thin sheets of glass? My hands caressed the cold glass. These sheets of glasses have been reinforced with magic and won't have any problems even if an A-rank hunter were to hit it with all their might, he was confident. I had a look of doubt plastered on my face. Would you like to try hitting it if you don't believe my words? If you're successful in breaking the glass, you may even get to keep the artifacts inside. Tempting. Anything free is tempting. I readied myself to hit the glass. I curled my fist into a ball with my veins popping out. Wait. I was just kidding. If you were to really break it, veteran hunters would come rushing in here. Our auction house has a contract with the Hunters Guild for security. His voice was shaky. What a shame. Are there any daggers I can check out? I asked. He put on a shaky smile. He directed me to where the daggers could be. Hello. I'm the person in charge of weapons. Please come this way. Another man saw me. I looked at the daggers. They're really unexceptional. I held one of the daggers. It wasn't anything special. How much is this? I looked at the shine of the dagger. It's 30 million won. That's insane. This dagger is worse than Nightkiller, but it's this expensive? The stats are similar to Risaka's Fang at best. If something like this costs so much. How much would this dagger cost? I handed him my dagger. Wow. I can sense the detailed craftsmanship of this one. It'll go for 100 million won at the very least. A dagger that I purchased for 2.8 million gold at the store goes for that much. Kim Sang-shik's steel blade with plus 10 attack was about 3 million won. And the hardly useful equipment that Jin-ho was wearing was worth hundreds of millions of won. If I can sell the store-bought equipment, maybe I wouldn't have to sell Orb of Avarice. Orb of Avarice is pretty helpful, would be a shame to just sell it. Wow. Brother. These reporters really won't leave. Jin-ah peeked through the window. A reporter took notice of her and she quickly ducked. Should I go down and teach them a lesson? Rimuru's head was smoking. We probably should, I agreed. No, you two definitely shouldn't. You two are already being trashed on the internet. Lecturing the reporters will only make it worse. Jin-ah was sweating. I scratched my head. Trashed? What did I do to deserve this? I know Rimuru did something, but why me? Rimuru directed her fury to me. She stared at me up and down. Jin-ah sighed. You two left without saying anything to the reporters. I'm fine, and Oppa and Unnie should forget about those reporters as well. A knock on the door scared the daylight out of Jin-ah. They're knocking on our door as well? Rimuru's fists curled into a ball. I'll go knock some sense onto them. I approached the door. I opened the door. Hey, you people really need to stop, a loud cry interrupted me. Brother. My father kicked me out. Rimuru peeked from behind me. Sister. Rimuru gave him a blank stare and shut the door. Was that someone you two knew? Jin-ah looked at the door. Nah, Rimuru said. I could hear Jin-ho repeatedly knocking on the door, shouting. Sister, brother. His cries were probably heard through the entire building. Rimuru facepalmed. How embarrassing. She let out a breath. I looked at my sister who was sleeping ever so soundly. My sister isn't like me. She's a child and she deserves to live like one. She should be safe from all troubles. She shouldn't have a life like mine. I caressed her forehead. She's sweating. She gritted her teeth as she slept. She must be having a nightmare. I wiped off the beads of sweat on her forehead. This home of ours is old and broken down. The only reason we haven't moved out yet is because of our father. My mother has this lingering hope that he'll return, and if he does return, it'll be to this house. Perhaps I do as well. Our father was a hunter too. Before that, he was a firefighter. He protected the weak and innocent. He'd never hurt a fly. Our father is a protector. Now that he's gone, it's evident I should take his place. As long as I'm here, I'll protect you. Come out, I told my shadow soldiers. One of these guys should be able to handle even an A-rank hunter. I looked at the 3 soldiers. 2 of you, go back. For the remaining 1, I'll attach 2 more guards, so keep my sister safe. The soldier obliged and seeped into the shadows. I decided to get a breath of fresh air and went outside. The moon is shining awfully bright this night, now that I think about it. Rimuru's hair is a similar color to the moon. Her hair. Usually it resembles the sky more, but in the night you could clearly see that it's a platinum color. Like the moon, definitely, she herself is like the moon. A light in the midst of darkness. I guess that's how she is to me. I laughed. This is love, I know, but when would I be able to share it? I think I'd like to protect her. I know she can protect herself, but does she not get tired? Everyone is protected by her when she is near. Does the burden not get to her? I want her to share the burden with me. Come out, I ordered my shadow soldiers. From this point forward, you are the neighborhood's watchmen. Be careful not to get noticed by anybody. Now then, commence patrol. They seeped into the shadows. I sighed. It isn't just Rimuru and Jin-ah I want to protect. I want to protect my mom. I want to protect Jin-ho. I want to protect everybody. Hey. Rimuru poked my cheek. I glared at her, to which she hissed. Don't glare at me, she pouted. I sighed. What is it? She scratched her chin before talking. How do you want to live your life? That's a sudden question, but I guess I want to live my life with the people I love. What if someone you cherished were to suddenly leave and never come back? She can't possibly be thinking of leaving me, right? If she did, I'd hunt them to the ends of the world. I'd bring them back, no matter the cost. She was taken aback by my answer, but regained her composure and cleared her throat. If you couldn't find them, what then? I'll get enough power so that I'd be able to find them. She seemed amused by my answer. If they had more power than you could ever dream of having? That would be impossible, won't it? I mean, I don't really have a limit to how much power I could get. She laughed even harder at my response. I guess. Only if they were a god, it would be possible. I scratched my head. If you encountered a god, what would your reaction be? I think I'd ask him why all of this happened. I closed my eyes. I'd ask why everything happened, if there was a plan. What was it? I'd like to curse him out. I'd like to scream at him. Yet I'd like to be embraced in a hug so tight I can't even leave. Do you believe if God existed, he'd be good? I asked her. God is the being that has accumulated the most sins. That's an interesting opinion. She looked at me and looked back down. He is just someone that has the most power in the world. He reigns over every world, every universe. He creates, and he destroys. She let out a breath. So, to answer your question, he is just normal. He's not bad, nor is he good, he's just doing what is expected of him. That sounds depressing, no? Is it not tiring? I don't think he would choose to be something else. For him, this is the most satisfaction he could ever receive out of all possibilities. She smiled and rested her head on my shoulder. I used to believe that he was unhappy, but now I realize this is the happiest he could be. She truly is interesting. From the moment we met, something about her drew me in. She was someone I knew would stay in my mind for all to come. Yet I never knew why. It was like she had this presence that kept luring me in. She didn't have to do anything, I followed her by my own will. When she laughed, it felt like the world was good. A person that could light up the room just by walking in. That is who she is. Her smile was charming, her eyes were alluring. Her voice was a melody. This is the first time I've met someone like her. I didn't even know someone could mean so much to me like she does. How long has it been since we've met? Has it been 2 years? It's probably been more, hasn't it? A friend. Yay, that's what she is. She is my best friend. I showed her me, all of me. I gripped her hand. To lose someone as precious as her would be my biggest mistake. That is why I won't let you go. You're important to me, Rimuru. I glanced at her, seeing that the end of her ears were red. The sight of her pearly white skin being reddened by the feelings of embarrassment, what a sight to behold. If I could keep Rimuru to myself, I would do so. But even I know that she is someone that is impossible to contain. So I want to be able to at least love her as I have done